playing the squash guitar. So now we're going to take this squash and we're going to make squash tots. So let's get our aprons on and I'll show you how I make it. First we need to peel the squash, and today I'm using a rampicante squash. These types of squash grow really well here, as well as the snake gourds. Those do really good too, and they produce a whole lot and the bugs actually leave them alone. Now it's time to get to the real shredding. Since this grows really well for us, I have been trying for years to find a way that my family will eat it. I've tried lots of different casseroles and hiding it in various things. I've even tried making a cheese sauce and just mixing it in with like cheese and cream with the breadcrumb topping over it, and no one liked any of those things. Now that the squash is all shredded, I like to bag mine up into quart Ziploc bags, and I like to flatten mine out and store them in the freezer until I'm ready to use it. To release even more moisture, I like to get a bowl and put a colander in it and also line that with a cloth, and then I just take the squash and I let it sit in that for about an hour or so, and just doing that right there will extract a lot of the moisture. While the squash is still in the cloth, I like to wring it out. I wring it as tight as I can, and I also like to go both directions to try and get as much liquid as possible. This helps your squash tots stay together. If you have too much excess moisture in there, they won't hold together very well. Now we're going to add 1 cup of squash to our bowl. You can use whatever cheese you like. These are a few of our favorites, but today we're going to use Colby Jack. And we're going to add 1 cup of cheese. Then we're going to add 1 egg, 1/4 cup of plain breadcrumbs, and 2 teaspoons of seasoned salt. I make our own homemade blend, but if you like to jazz up just plain seasoned salt, you can just add a little bit of brown sugar, black pepper, chili powder, paprika, and just a touch of garlic. I also like to add about 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne, but you can omit this if you don't like it spicy. And then 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder. And now we're going to mix this in really good. With that cayenne in there, you want to be sure and mix this really well. That way somebody doesn't end up with all the cayenne. And I like to use these 4-ounce silicone molds. It makes the perfect portion. And just fill up the 6 different sections as evenly as possible. After they're all filled, be sure and compress it down all over. This helps it to stay together as well. And then bake it in the oven at 325 degrees for 15 minutes. Your baking time may vary depending on the appliance you're using. Now they're all done, and I like to let mine sit for about 10 minutes before I try and get them out of the pan. See how well they hold together and come out of the silicone pan so easily? After they've cooled, I like to bag them up in a Ziploc bag, and they stack so well with their shape. And then I just store that in the freezer, and you have an easy side ready to go. All you have to do is just warm it up. I will leave the recipe as well as a link to a printable recipe in the description below. Thank y'all so much for watching and spending a part of your day with me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye!